Hey, everybody, welcome to the Twisted Sisters.
Hey guys, how are y'all today? Who's in here? Alex. Hey girl,
Hey, Alex, how are you?
our number one fan.
I know.
She really is.
Now that we have our new channel and we're by ourselves, she's like our number one and only.
I know, but that's okay. People will watch the replay of this
Oh, for sure, for sure. And
for
if
sure.
not, we'll
Cause
have a good time.
yeah, gonna talk about some drama that's actually not on YouTube.
No kidding. Oh, hey, Water Ski Mom, how are you?
See, I don't even see her. Oh, it doesn't even show we're live on mine. I'll have
Oh,
to go
really?
back
You may
out.
have to
Yep.
go out and come back in. It says that I'm live over here and I can see it on. Let's see. I'm going to mute my mic real quick and make sure I can hear me.
We're live. Yeah.
Yep, we're good. I'm running on my tablet, so we're good.
I had to go back out and go back in. So we're going to do a review of what's it called? The Family, Chantel, or Chantel the Family. What's it called,
Yes,
Katie?
absolutely. I was just kind of laughing to myself because this is totally all you and your 90 Day Fiance series like obsession. And you're like, wait, what's it called?
I know because it's like such a weird name. Come on, TLC. Couldn't you come up with a better name? But that is what Pedro calls Chantel's family. The family Chantel, I think that's what it is. Or the Chantel the family.
Yeah.
Chantel the family. That's it. That's it. So this couple is from 90 Day Fiance that airs on TLC. They have been on there for several seasons now. Pedro is from the Dominican Republic. Chantel Everett is from Atlanta, Georgia. She goes to the DR and she's wanting to like learn how to speak Spanish, brush up on her Spanish. She meets Pedro. She brings Pedro to the US on a K1 visa, which is a fiance visa. And when you get to the United States, you have 90 days to get married. Chantel lies to her family, which has caused a lot of friction now, and tells her family that Pedro is here on a student visa. Um, well, as the countdown begins to the 90 days they got to get married, she has to, tell her family. And so they were against this marriage from day one. They think that he is scamming Chantel. Now, Chantel's family actually went to the DR to meet Pedro's family. That did not go well. Pedro's mother made chicken feet for dinner as an insult and tried to say it was how would you say that? A Dominican dish, like their dish, that they make.
Yeah, like a tradition or something.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. Sometimes words don't come to me. Traditional dish. Well, it's not because Chantel had been there before and met his family and she had ate their food before. She had never saw chicken feet. So that just led to a big mess and they go ahead and have their DR wedding there. And then they come back to the US. Pedro's sister, Nicole, comes to Atlanta to visit. And that is where River, Chantel's brother, and Pedro get into it. And that's been like a couple years ago. So now this show is picking up basically where 90 Day Fiance left off. This past season, Pedro goes back to the Dominican Republic without Chantel, is over there dancing all over his sister's friend. And then Chantel comes over to the Dominican Republic, suspicious of what he is up to. She does not trust his family. While she's there, she meets up with her friend Obed, and he tells her that Pedro's family basically set their marriage up, arranged it so he could come to America and send money, marry an American woman and send money back to his family, which he does. He sends money back to his family, which has caused problems. But the show basically picks up when Chantel and Pedro come back from the Dominican Republic. During the end of that trip, Pedro and Chantel kind of make up, and their marriage is getting back on course until they arrive back in Atlanta. And that's where this new show begins at. And Chantel comes back, and the show starts off as Chantel picking up her brother River from work and takes him to her mom's house. In there, Chantel opens her big mouth and tells her family what went on in the DR with Pedro and dancing with another woman. I left out a part. While he was over there in the DR, Chantel came over there. Pedro's sister actually pulls out a phone and shows Chantel a video of Pedro bumping and grinding on her friend. So, it's just like a big mess. You
Yeah.
want to be in anywhere?
Yeah, so okay, I was totally lost about River and Pedro and why they were kind of at odds with each other. I knew it had to do with their relationship and stuff, but can you elaborate a little bit on that and kind of bring me up to speed? So, real quick, I want to say I watched this now because of CC, y'all. So, I did not watch 90 Day Fiance at all. So I was like, look, I'm gonna have you run this and I'm gonna ask some questions and like chime in when I can. And I've been following this new one, but I have no idea why they were at odds. So yeah, they
That
don't
was
seem to get along at all.
that was an awesome episode when that happened. That happened last not this past season, 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After, but the season before. So Pedro and his sister, like I said, Nicole, comes to Atlanta to visit. Chantel's not happy about that. Karen and Thomas, Chantel's parents, invite Nicole and Pedro to dinner. While they're there, Karen basically brings up that she thinks that Chantel was scammed. The marriage was arranged so Pedro could come here. Pedro tells Karen and Thomas to shut up. Then River gets up, punches the light above the table, and then Pedro comes around the table and like punches him. A big fight erupts. Pedro's sister weave gets tore out. I mean, it was
Oh no, the hair.
so they hadn't seen each other in a year since the fight. Pedro wants nothing to do with Chantel's crazy family, and River basically wants nothing to do with Pedro. Now the parents, they want to butt in.
Of course. Okay, so now I'm more up to speed. I saw, obviously, it was like last episode, I think, when they, we'll get into that or whatever, but I saw they were like doing a flashback and I kind of saw that there was an altercation at a table or something, but I didn't really know what was going on. So,
Yeah. Pedro seems to not understand that telling Thomas and Karen to shut up, even though they were overstepping their bounds, was not appropriate. And River doesn't seem to understand that he kind of agged Pedro on by getting up and punching the light. So, my opinion of it, it was all of their faults.
sure.
Chantel brings a lot of drama to this relationship because she tattletales to her family every single thing that goes on.
Yeah, that's one thing that I have always been told. I was even told by like my own mom to be careful what you involve your family with, your immediate family and stuff, because your love for your significant other is different than your family's love for that person. So, although you might forgive them and it might have been something atrocious, your family might not forgive them, and that may always be in the back of their mind. So, that's something that I always take into consideration. And they totally lay it all out on the table. And I'm like, this is
Yeah,
messy. I don't know.
I know that when you're young, I know I did it in the past. I would tell my mom things about my relationship, and it just caused more problems.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, anyways, that's where this new show picks up on. They're back from the DR, and Chantel picks up River from work, drives him to their parents' home, and she blabs to her mom and dad about the DR because she hadn't seen them since she had been back from her trip. So what does Karen do? The mother, she grabs her taser and is ready to go confront Pedro.
I don't know how I forgot about that part when we were recapping this yesterday or whatever, and you were
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, well, that happened." I'm like, how did I forget that?
So they get there. Pedro is not happy. Chantel tries to beat him there. She's running up the stairs because she's always dressed like she's on a damn runway, anyways. Big heels on. She falls on the steps and everything, trying to get up to the door before them. And anyways, Pedro's not happy. Karen comes in. Chantel tells her to sit down. She's like, no, no, I'm happy just standing here. And then she confronts Pedro, like, why you disrespected my daughter, dancing all over women in the DR. And then out drops the damn taser. Pedro, I think TLC planned that. And Pedro's like, what's that? And she's like, nothing, just a flashlight.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
And basically, he's like, leave, leave, mother in law, mucho loco.
That's funny. Hey, Water Ski Mom's asking if she is a preacher's wife. Is Chantel's father, is he a preacher?
I don't know, but I like Thomas. But Thomas just goes along with whatever Karen says. I'm not sure if Thomas is a preacher or not. I'm curious to know his occupation, considering that they've hired private detectives to go to the DR and investigate Pedro's family. That costs some money.
I'm gonna look into him real quick while you're talking
Thomas
about it.
Thomas
Yeah.
Everett.
Yeah, I'm gonna see what his job is or what he does.
I've
I'm
heard
curious now.
Thomas tell her before, like, don't overreact, take it down a notch. But poor Thomas, he don't have any hope with that woman as his wife because she wears the pants in that family and she zips those pants.
That is hilarious.
And to say, what happened after that? Um,
It says that the mom is working on publishing a book.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Everyone that appears on reality TV writes a damn book.
Don't they though?
Oh yeah, Pedro gets mad because they won't leave, so he goes out to the parking lot, tries to get in Chantel's car. He has no driver's license. She has to stop him from doing that. And then what does Pedro do? He goes the next day and calls his family and tattletales what happened.
I don't. Okay, so how old are these people?
They're in their 20s. Or
Ugh,
Chantel and Pedro are in their 20s. I think she's about 24, maybe older.
jeez.
Of course, Pedro's sister, Nicole, on the FaceTime call they have, she tells Pedro to get a divorce and also asks Pedro if he had told Chantel about a secret.
Okay, so would that have anything to do with what I'm reading here? I didn't see anything about this, about like Thomas and Karen when they hired the private investigator. They're accusing him of harvesting Chantel, yeah,
Hmm.
and hinting that he and his family seem like body traffickers, and that was according to In Touch Weekly.
Hmm. I
Is that
think
what
uh, I
that
think
is?
they Yeah, I think the PI did discover that she had some kind of website for people in the DR to meet up with Americans and marry them.
Jeez,
Pedro's mother is allegedly a lawyer in the Dominican Republic.
Pedro's mother.
Hmm.
That's interesting because they argue about how his mother and sister don't pay for anything while they're over there.
Yeah, he paid. Do you see that nice apartment his mom and sister live in? He pays for that. He
Oh my
sends them money. When they went back to the DR to get married and Chantel's family went with them, Pedro tried to take like this huge big screen TV on the airplane. And the people are like, no. You cannot take it. It's too big. So then he sends it to the DR
Mm.
or tries to, and it costs like lots and lots of money to ship it there.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
that's
I would
crazy.
not put up with that for
No.
2 seconds. Absolutely not. And his sister, I'd snatch her weave off her head myself.
She seems like she's a real peach.
She's a real bitch girl.
Oh yes. That seems to be
If I
something that
would have
we
been
see a lot of.
Pedro, if I would have been Pedro, I would have been very upset that my sister showed my wife a video of me basically cheating on her. He was all over that girl. You can imagine what they didn't put in that episode on
Oh,
90
for
Day
sure.
Fiance because I watched the episode where this went down.
I need to go back and like watch that on YouTube or Hulu or something and check out that episode just because it seems like there's a lot. I need to catch up on that one.
Yeah, it's thunder in here. So basically, what happens next in the episode is Pedro and Chantel go out dancing. She suggests that they go to family counseling because didn't during the episode the mom and dad go and talk to a preacher about family counseling? They go to
Yes.
church.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they it was like at the very end they try to get everyone to go to family counseling,
yeah,
including River and Pedro.
yeah. So when they go out, Pedro and Chantel go out dancing. She brings it up, and of course, Pedro agrees to go to counseling only because he has a secret he's been keeping from Chantel, which is he wants to bring his mother and sister to America. And that's basically where the first episode ends, besides Chantel, her mom and sister going to a twerk class. And since Chantel has so much drama in her own relationship, she decides she wants to start nitpicking her sister's relationship. And her sister's name is Winter. Winter, yeah.
Okay, so how do you say her boyfriend's name? Is it Jaw or Jaws or like how do you say that?
I thought it said job, JAB.
JAB. Oh, okay. Well, then I was totally wrong.
Jaw, and maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't know. My country ears hear names different sometimes.
Not only do you have the twang in your voice, you got the twang in your ear too.
Yeah, according to some people, I can't pronounce any words right.
We've had a couple people come in. Hey, Southern Mom, and hey, Christina's Journey.
Hey, girls.
Water Ski Mom says, comic relief before a funeral. Thank you.
Uh, oh, I hate you're going to a funeral.
I know. I'm so sorry. Sorry for your loss, for sure.
Yeah, that so sucks. And so, and then, okay, so the first episode we just talked about that was what All is Fair in Love and War.
Yeah.
And the second episode that aired is called Coming to America. This is an interesting show. It really is. I mean, I've actually learned a lot about by watching 90 Day Fiance, the K1 visa process and stuff. And no wonder they need to fix immigration. A lot of people do use this fiance visa just to get to America. Not everyone, but there are some that do scam for sure. And there's been several on the show that have.
It seems like it. It seems interesting.
I don't really think that Pedro is doing that.
I was gonna.
However, I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I think so, but I don't know. A close family friend, Obed, his name is, did tell Chantel that their marriage was arranged. They spotted her out over there in the DR, and a close family friend hooked them up. And a close family friend did hook them up, I think. I think he was giving her Spanish lessons or something, teaching her Spanish.
Huh. I was gonna ask you because, like, in this episode where they actually do go to the counseling or whatever, um, he says, like, "I really do love you" or something like that, and it just kind of seemed. I wasn't sure if it was genuine or it kind of seemed ingenuine to me, but I also know that different, you know, accents, different twangs, different, and also the way that he says, Chantel the family or Chantel the fam. Shit, I keep getting that was Chantel the family, and how he says that. Like I know that the way that they say things and do things is a little bit different, and I just wasn't sure. I couldn't read him very well. I wasn't sure if he really was, authentic about it or not.
Well, she questioned him about what Obed said, and I don't know his facial expressions. He said no, but I'm not so sure about it. I'm not so sure. I do know he presents, I mean, himself and his culture as they take care of their mother and their family over their wife. That's the way he lays it out.
Okay, so that's
I don't know
interesting.
if it's true or not. I do
That,
know some cultures, they do take care of their parents when they get
sure.
older, and there's nothing wrong with that. But this mother, I will get to her in a minute in this second episode. Oh my god, I cannot stand that woman.
Yeah, she like expects a lot out of her son, it seems, and it seems a little overbearing.
Yeah, that's what's almost making me think now that this was a setup arranged marriage.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. So where does episode 2 start off at? Let me find my notes. I have two different notebooks I use. Um, so the second episode starts off with Pedro going to see an immigration lawyer. That is the big secret that he's been keeping from Chantel. Now, the thing with the immigration lawyer is uh, Pedro has to be a citizen, I believe, in order to sponsor his mom and sister. But there is a way around that, and that is for Chantel to go to an interview and agree to sponsor them. That's not going to happen. It's going to cost, yeah, it's going to cost over 10 grand to bring them here.
Yeah, I think it was like 10,500 or something like that. They just kept like naming all these costs, and it was like it'll be like 1,500 here and a couple thousand here, and I'm just like, holy crap!
So it's like 2 more years before Pedro can become a citizen and do it himself. And then the process will take about a year and a half.
Jeez. So they're looking at 3.5 years, and they're not happy with his with his answer. That's for sure.
No. After he leaves the immigration lawyer, he makes a phone call to his mom, and she's like, this is unacceptable. I want to come to America. I want to go shopping in America. I want to go to a mall in America. And I'm like, damn, woman, I cannot believe you are talking to your son like that, him in another country, don't get to see him all the time. And she's just interested in what Pedro can do for her.
Yeah, for sure. She didn't seem to understand when he told her, I can't do this because I have a green card and I don't have any other family here willing to sponsor you guys
Yeah.
coming out here, and I don't have the money and the she's just like, well, why not? Like, you need to do this. Like, it's almost like snap your fingers, why aren't you done yet? And
Yeah.
I just
She told
wow.
him, she said, 10 grand is nothing.
Yeah.
She said, what is that? And I thought, you, oh, bitch, you.
Like,
I
well, then
mean,
why
I
don't you come up with it?
yeah,
Send it
exactly.
right on over.
Yeah, I just didn't like the way she was talking to him. And I thought, yeah, she probably did arrange, to have him set up with Chantel just so he could come to America. I see why Chantel has such a problem um, with him giving money to his family. He pays for everything. He even sends them such things back as straighteners, curling irons, dresses, panties,
Wow.
bras,
Ew.
laptops. Yeah, yeah, she got so upset when Pedro came to the DR to have their wedding because he couldn't bring that TV with him on the plane. She was so upset about that.
That's messed up. And that's weird. I wouldn't want my brother buying me bras and underwear. Like, that's weird. You can't buy anything on your own. Like, what do you do?
They allow that stuff cost, excuse me, a lot more over there.
Still, that's kind of weird.
I had to mute. I had to cough. Sorry. Um, Yeah, it is weird. I remember Chantel, she got mad because he bought his sister a straightener for her hair. It's like 80 or $90. She's like, I want one like Chantel's. And Chantel's like, well, you know what? I had to get out and work and pay for mine. Chantel is a nurse.
That's what I thought. I was looking at her social media last night and I saw that she was wearing scrubs and I thought she was involved somewhere in that.
She's a nurse and she also teaches cheer classes.
Oh, cool. Okay. That's nice.
Yeah, I always like Chantel, but she's like, she tells her mom and dad way, way, way too much.
What does Pedro do?
I'm not sure what he does, but I do know he works.
Okay. Well, interesting.
Yeah, he does work, and he's like a big time gamer. You know, he's got the big gaming chair, the big screen set up. Some of the episodes you could see it on 90 Day Fiance.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's kind of cool. Well, I'll have to check him out. I want to see what the family does. I was trying to pull it up on here, and it's not. I'm down in the basement trying to stream while the little one is supposed to be napping. And I'm watching him on his video camera. He's not napping, but I'll have to look at it upstairs. And I want to get the down low on everybody and what they do. It always makes me curious what they do and what kind of job would be okay with someone going on there. And like, I'm sure some people wouldn't be okay with them working for a company and then they act kind of crazy sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, it always makes me curious and wonder what they do.
Right. My hubby said he'd be home about an hour. Well, we got plenty of time to finish our review.
That's real. I mean, all that really happens in the second episode is they go to the counseling and
Hmm.
that's after the lawyer. It's how it finishes up, isn't it? Like the bulk of the episode is him getting his butt chewed out about him not being able to snap his fingers
Yeah,
and make his family come over here, and then him
yeah.
get butt chewed out at counseling.
It shows Thomas and River doing some yard work. They're building a koi pond for Karen. Tries to convince River to come to counseling. River's a little hothead who tries to be a big badass, and he needs to be brought down a notch or two. Thomas is trying to tell him that in a nice way. But anyways, they go to counseling. In order to talk during this counseling session, you got to be holding the green ball.
The ball, it's the talking ball.
So they talk about the fight River Pedro had. Of course, they get nowhere. Pedro blurts out that he's bringing his family to America, and no one is happy about that. But no one is actually surprised either. I think Chantel is, but the rest of the family really isn't.
Yeah, and I think the only reason Chantel's surprised is because she doesn't want to believe it, and because of the way that he told her.
Right.
I think she
Right.
was ticked. Even her family said, like, we could tell that she was finding out at the exact same time that we were, and that she didn't know that he was planning on doing this. Although everybody else suspected it, it seems like she wanted to see the good in him and looked past that, but it ended up
Right.
happening anyway.
Right. I mean, like I see both sides of this with I see Pedro's side, I see the family side, but Chantel has caused a lot of this by telling her family every single thing. Now maybe she feels like she tells them because it's just on her mind and she just needs to tell someone. But she really needs to talk about it with her friends.
Yeah, I was gonna say a friend or like heck, if you're really that into counseling, go talk to a counselor or something. You know what I mean?
I
If
mean,
she's
she
causing drama.
Karen reminds me of my mother. I've had my mother go off on Mark before here in my house. I was so embarrassed. I didn't say a word. I just let them two say a couple of things to each other, and that was it. But and then the next time they saw each other, it was like nothing ever happened. That's the way my hubby is about everything, even with me. If we have an argument, the next time he sees me a few minutes later, it's like it never happened. That kind of annoys me sometimes.
I get it. I'm kind of in between. I don't know if I sometimes I want to hash it out. Sometimes I don't at all.
Yeah. Now, Katie, why we got everybody on here? What other show was you wanting to do? It's called what? 60 Days?
Oh, I was just throwing out ideas. I was looking at, I know we have a lot of people that follow us for crime and stuff, and 60 Days In on A&E is doing something called Narcoland, and they started it last night, and I think they said they have six. They only showed a few of them last night, but they have a few different participants who, like one of them, I think he's an ex-military. I want to say he's an ex-Marine. I can't remember. He was also a law enforcement officer of some sort, and he's going undercover in the jail. It's in Louisville, Kentucky, is the one that they were looking at yesterday in Bullitt County, I think. It's either in or around Louisville, and so they have one like they have a female too who's in there. She is a journalist, and she is going in, and they're trying to get information on. I guess I-65 is a very big main artery and highway through basically northern, and it goes straight from, I guess, Mexico all the way up to, I'm not sure if it goes all the way up to Canada, but it goes all the way up. I know they were saying at least past like Chicago and all that stuff. And they say that drugs, especially like heroin and meth and stuff, are coming from the cartels in Mexico. And the prices used to be, I think they said it used to be like $2,000 for the same quantity that now costs $200. And that's why they're seeing a lot of issues with it and stuff. So they're trying to get these people who there's, I think, three of them that are going to be behind bars, and they're trying to get insight and overhear things on cartels and intel and stuff. And then they have a few different people who are put directly in the middle of the situation. And like there's this neighborhood where it's a really bad neighborhood and bad part of town. And they said at least 3 out of 10 properties on this in this neighborhood or whatever, you can anticipate that they're going to have some sort of heroin or meth. And between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. Every night, that's like their time where if they're going to get broken into or whatever, that's probably when that's going to happen. And there's one of the females that you see in the beginning, she's put directly in there. She's actually a former private investigator. I don't know if she's former or still licensed, but it kind of rings a bell with me because I am a former licensed private investigator, but she's using like her knowledge in surveillance and stuff like that to try to understand what these people are doing and all this stuff that's going on. And they have cameras following them, but they say that it's for a documentary on drugs and like the drug epidemic and stuff. And they're automatically just telling them so much information. And it's totally eye-opening to see, exactly what's going on with the cartels. And it's something that's never really been done before. So I just thought it would be interesting to kind of review that maybe.
I bet that, man, I wouldn't want to be that cop because I'm telling you, convicts can spot a cop a mile away.
Girl, in the first episode, there was a guy he arrested, and he even remembered like exactly how the arrest went down and stuff. He's like, yeah, I remember he was in the back of my vehicle, blah blah blah. And there was an emergency sign. It was like basically him putting his hands behind his back. And the first, I don't know, however long he was in there, was like a few hours or something. He was out there in like a genuine, they call it the drunk tank or something like that. And there was a bunch of people in there, and as time went on, more people kept going in, and all of a sudden some guy comes in and he keeps eyeballing him. He's like, oh shit, I arrested him. And he's like, all I need is someone, seeing who I am. And he kept checking him out. And he's like, all I need is someone telling him I'm with the Fed. And he's like, I could see 4 or 5 of these men. You see him like start to kind of go back and forth and almost like pacing. And he's given the emergency sign, and he's telling the producers after the fact, like, when you've got 4 or 5 men that are wanting to go after you, that even if they're just beating you up, that's deadly force. That's a deadly weapon right there. And he was like getting real scared. And they show that he goes back in though. So they look into it and try to figure it out and see what they're going to do. But they show that like for previews for, I don't think it was a preview for next episode for next week. I think it was like a general overview of what's going to happen this season. And they show him going back into the jail. And so I don't know, it's kind of weird that they put him in there, like you would think that they would want somebody else that wouldn't be noticed or something.
Yeah, because I mean, just cops just act like cops. Most of them, and most convicts are very familiar with that. And they can spot a cop out a mile away, especially these hardened convicts. It's crazy. Speaking of the cartel, the leader of what is it, MS-13?
I don't
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
their leader is up here at the federal prison at Red Onion Prison, the federal prison here.
Oh, really?
It's back in the boonies. If they escape, they'd probably come out at my granny's house. If they didn't get lost, in the woods.
Oh my goodness.
And they brought him in. I was back there riding four wheelers. Our secretary's back there, and they brought him in a helicopter.
Oh wow. When did they? How long ago was that?
It's been several years ago.
That's
Several years.
crazy.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if he's still the leader or if he's still there.
Who knows? I don't know. I have to look into it. I don't even know what exactly they're looking into as far as this. Like, I've watched 60 Days in before, but some of the people I just don't. I don't know. I can't. It bothers me, and so I stopped watching it. And then I was kind of intrigued. They did like a 60 Days in a school setting where they were getting people that had already graduated high school, but they were going back in acting like they were in high school, trying to get information on. I don't remember what the topic was or whatever, but
Oh
um,
yeah.
yeah, so and that was kind of interesting, but I fell off after like an episode or two, and then
I couldn't get into that one.
yeah, same here. And I just don't like the way that watching people in the prisons and stuff. Honestly, like I was getting stressed out.
Yeah.
I know I told you, but my husband, he's a gamer. He plays video games. I know we were talking about gamers and stuff, but he loves that stuff, and he'll be playing like Grand Theft Auto, and you're watching him as he's driving away on a video game while cops are chasing him and all the lights are flashing and you hear the sirens, and it gets my heart rate going. It like freaks me out and stresses me out, and that's what this show did last night. I need to not watch it at night because it came on at 10 o'clock, I think. And I need to watch it in the morning when I need to get pumped up because
Yeah.
I couldn't fall asleep last night. I'm like, crap. I was on edge the whole entire episode wanting to know because the girl that goes into this property, she's put in this manufacturer home that doesn't even have like, she says the door wasn't secured. Like you can see the deadbolt looking through the door and you can see it's not secure at all. And at the end of the episode, she's like about to go to bed and she hears this noise and she keeps hearing these noises. And then she sees this guy just kind of, he almost looks like a zombie prowling through the streets, like some guy on meth or something. And she's like, you
Honey,
don't ever know what these
the
people are on.
the tweakers come out at night.
Yeah, they said between 1 and 3. It's every night between 1 and 3. If your shit's gonna get stolen,
Meth
it's
heads.
yep, between 1 and 3. And she's like, oh crap. So she's like always on edge and it's just like, ugh, it's
Yeah.
crazy. It stresses me out. Like I need to watch it during the day.
Well,
Hey,
just kind of remember that it is reality TV, and they're not going to show us anything like if something bad happened to her. They're not going to show it.
oh, I know. And I even then, like I was just watching Live PD before that, and I don't care. I love that stuff. That doesn't like amp me up or anything like that. I think it's pretty cool. It has the opposite effect on my husband. I think it stresses him out hearing the sirens for 3 hours or whatever. But like last night, I was watching it right before this episode because it was on from 8 to 10. And it was like a special time. They don't normally do it during the week. But this guy had apparently been stabbed with a sword and he had blood just like squirting out and gushing everywhere and just dropping down. And the camera was like right up on that hand that blood was everywhere on. And I just didn't. I'm like, oh, this, whatever. Like,
Do you remember the sheriff? I think he's from Texas. The guy that wears the cowboy hat. The sheriff guy wears jeans and a cowboy hat. He's on my.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember who the heck that is.
That is the best looking cop I've ever seen in my life. I would jump him. I would be like, arrest me, pat me down.
I can't. And let me introduce you to CC, y'all. This is the CC I talk to. Oh my goodness, I can't. You are
so much more fun than crime.
I know. Yeah, I know. That's why I've gotten a lot of questions like, well, why are you doing this? Why are you doing it? But honestly, guys, it's kind of stressful dealing with crime all the time and the way that like we're being censored and the way that we're putting a lot of work into stuff and not it's not all about like a monetization or anything, but when they don't
No.
monetize you on something, they don't even put your work out there. Like they don't share it. They don't, I don't know. And it's just, they keep getting stricter and stricter. And I swear I could put high, like on my other channel, I could put high in the
Yeah.
description and high in the title, and I would still be demonetized immediately. It didn't matter. So we just figured we'd try something a little more like
Yeah.
lighthearted.
Yeah, I mean, it is really hard reading all these updates, keeping up with them, especially when it involves children. And it gets to me. And then you have people that criticize the way you pronounce stuff or what you did in your video or your opinion. I mean, they just nitpick, and they're so mean and cruel.
Yeah.
And it's like they don't even appreciate what you're trying to do. It's not, I don't know how they get this in their head. You're trying to capitalize off somebody's death. I mean, it's no different than the news stations.
Yeah, I know. It's just, it is. I want to be like, why don't you get on your own channel and do your own thing?
Yeah.
I'll watch you and criticize you. Not really, but it is what it is. So this is a little bit more fun, lighthearted, a different side of both of us, really.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's what I do at home. I watch 90 Day Fiance. I mean, I watch TV
I
like
watch TV
anyone
too.
else. I watch a lot of TV. I mean, usually I'm doing stuff around the house, listening to it, same way as YouTube, but reality TV is a good way to have drama in your life if you have none.
Oh, yeah, I don't like the drama in my life, but I like to watch it, and I can definitely agree. I do the same thing. I watch a lot of TV, and I mean, I'm disabled. You know what I mean? Like you just do what you can do, and that's a part of what I do. So might as well turn it into something positive and share it with others or something and see.
Yeah, I mean, crap,
Have a
I'm
good time.
home all the time. I mean, I can't really walk that good. So I'm home a lot. So I watch
Me
TV a
too.
lot. YouTube, I've slacked off on watching YouTube though.
Yeah, that gets a
And
little
like,
too personal sometimes.
yeah, exactly. I'm about to drop everything. My Chromebook and everything. Well, girl, it's been a really good chat.
Absolutely, I agree. The one thing I wanted to mention before we get off here is we have been talking about reviewing maybe a couple shows, doing like a couple episodes a week or something. We don't want to do too much. We want to keep it so that when we're here, it's
Not
informative, but we're not
stressful.
just like do it.
Like it's not stressful on us.
Yeah, it's not stressful, and it's like we're not just getting on here and like, oh, okay, so now what do you want to talk about? We actually come on here with something to talk about, and then we bring that to everybody else, and get everybody's thoughts and opinions on it and stuff. And with that being said, though, I also will kind of I know we want to get your thoughts about some shows that we were thinking about maybe and seeing. There were some that we were kind of thinking about. I know we're doing obviously the family Chantel. I'm gonna get it right before we stop doing this. We were thinking about doing a few others, like I said, the 60 Days in Narcoland, maybe doing 90 Day Fiance. What did you say? The Other Way, where people from the
Yeah.
United States go somewhere else.
Yeah, where they go to another country to start a new life and get married. Yeah,
Which is
got a
kind of
couple
interesting.
elderly ladies on there marrying younger guys. So
Oh, okay. Interesting. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to check that out. We got some cougars on the show, so we'll have to look into that. And I slacked off last year and maybe even the year before on Bachelor in Paradise, but I heard there's going to be some interesting things that are going to happen this season. And it used to be something that I watched all the time. And talk about drama. The drama is real on that show. So thinking about maybe doing that. We don't want to do too much, but we want to, keep everybody involved. And if you don't watch one show, maybe you'll watch another. So drop us a
yeah,
comment. Let us know what you think. And we'll put something together here soon and figure out exactly when we'll be on here and what shows we'll be doing, kind of with a schedule. That way, if you want to tune in to a specific show, kind of when we'll be on for that. It may change a little bit. We both have our own stuff going on and own, medical stuff and with my little one and stuff. But I think we're going to try and stay on a pretty good schedule. That's the goal anyway. So we'll see.
yeah. Anyways, girl, thank you for chatting with me and letting me run my mouth about my favorite show.
Hey, thank you for doing this and coming on here with me. I appreciate it so much. And thanks to everyone that's come in. I know we've got some people that I didn't say hi to, like Christina, Christina's Journey and Southern Mom, and Josette, Tharp, and Mel Mel. We appreciate everyone that's come in. So um,
Yeah.
let us know what you thought. If there's something that you think that, you'd like to hear more on of what we did, if there's something that I don't know, you like, you dislike. If you dislike, I might delete it. I don't care. I'll be honest. But we'd like to know what you think. And
Yeah.
uh, let us know. We really do care. You're the reason why we're here. So,
Yeah. And we'll have to do some snooping on Chantel's parents. We're going to
yes.
figure out what their occupations are.
Oh, for sure. I need to know what they do. I know that it said that the one was that the mom was, writing or publishing a book or something, but I want to know what else she does. I want to know what he does. I want to know what Pedro does. I've got questions. So I'm going to get that information together and we'll have the down low on all of them as well.
Of course. All right, guys. Thank you for
Bye, girl.
chatting.
Thanks, everyone.
I'll be live on my channel in the morning at 10:30. Talk some crime, I guess. Anyway,
Perfect.
have a great day, girl. Thanks.
You too, girl. Bye.
Bye.